Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are very much excited to get to inform you about the vaccine, get clear on some myths as well. So my name is Paola. I am co-president of C Club, and today my host with me is Claudia, who is currently in internship, who we see here today. As well, we'll be having Monse, Leah, and Lindsay join us as well. So we have this presentation ready for you guys. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so who are we? Boulder High PantherZ Club is a club that promotes career exploration, encourages members to participate in community, school, and international service projects. So this year we have taken on a COVID service project, and we will be explaining that later on. So we can move on to the following slide. This right here was a video created by Audrey Bichnet, who also is a member and part of our Boulder PantherZ Club. Let's go ahead and present that.
It's been quite a year, from the protests to the election to the masks. Boy, how can I forget the masks? But we've made progress. As a vaccine has progressed to become more available to more people, we should all consider taking it, so that we can put our safety and the safety of others in mind, thus building a safer and happier community. Why? Because moments like this can turn into, well, moments with no masks on. But most importantly, for you, for me, for her, for us, to stop the spread of COVID.
Okay, and I think that was a wonderful introduction into what we are going to go deep into. So let's get started with some of the virus facts. Well, as many of us already know, it was first found in Wuhan, China, and it was linked to animals. The COVID vaccine can also take 2 to 14 days to spread after exposure. And as we all know, healthy people can get COVID-19. And something extremely important to keep in mind is that although you may not experience symptoms of COVID-19, you, in fact, can still be infected. Mutations occur regularly. Reinfections are also possible. And let's keep in mind that this virus targets everyone, not taking into consideration geography or age. And usually people with underlying diseases are more at risk. Wonderful. So symptoms of COVID-19 and the side effects. So right here we have fatigue, new loss of taste or smell, which can be quite common, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, a runny nose, nausea, vomiting. Extremely important to keep in mind body aches, as well as sore throat, pressure in the chest, diarrhea, and loss of appetite. And this right here on the side is another representation of a COVID-19 symptoms um, explanation.
Just to give you guys a little more background information about COVID-19 and the virus itself, there's this lovely picture in front of us that we could it illustrates the perfect chain of infection. So the reservoir is where the agent, in this case, the virus, lives and grows. In this case, it would be human bodies. And the exit portal is how the virus leaves the body, which is coughing, sneezing, any bodily fluids. Uh, the mode of transition is how you get in contact with the virus itself. And just for your information, the virus can be active for either minutes or hours at a time. There's different types of modes of transmission, which are direct contact, which is droplet, which we all know COVID-19 is mainly spread through droplets like coughing and sneezing, like I said. And there's also indirect, which it could be like airborne or it's like touching a contaminated surface. The next step would be the entry portal, which is similar to the exit portal. It has to be a way for the virus to get into your body as well as leave your body. So that would be the mouth or the nose or skin. And the last thing would be the susceptible host, which could be anyone and everyone. And then methods of protection. I'm sure you guys are all tired of hearing this, but please wear your mask. Important facts to do when wearing your mask is avoid touching the inside of your mask since it is the part that is contaminated. I would also suggest to limit the number of times you reuse your mask, as well as wash the mask with hot water. Another aspect to methods of protection would be social distancing. Um, Another thing you guys have heard several times is stay 6 feet apart because you just don't know um, if the person right next to you or the person around you, they could be asymptomatic and still carry around COVID-19. The third really important thing would be hand washing, which experts say should be more than 20 seconds, which is equivalent to singing the happy birthday song twice or the alphabet. And it was really important to do it with hand soap and water. The next thing would be use hand sanitizers. For example, I have a hand sanitizer everywhere. I have one in my car, in my bag, in my backpack, everywhere. And the important topic of that is that it contains more than 60% alcohol. And another really important thing is that you rub your hands until the hand sanitizer is dry. I see a lot of people shaking their hands off like this, and that's just a way to transmit the virus. And the last thing, or one of the last thing, is disinfecting surfaces, um, just with alcohol and a bunch of cleaning supplies. Another big thing is avoiding large gatherings. I know a lot of people are very excited to be outdoors and be reunited with family, but we need to keep in mind that some people are still not vaccinated, so that's a really big thing. And then finally, COVID-19 testing is really important. So if you know you come in contact with someone who had COVID-19, please go get tested. And please do not make stops in between. Go straight home. Don't stop at the grocery store or anything like that. So Pam, if you want to if you want to press on the video, this is a short video that is a visual stimulation about how droplets spread. A simple droplet like coughing can spread, and why we should wear a mask. So this is a light cough, and as you could see, it's spreading pretty far. And this is a very heavy cough with no mask. And that could spread approximately 12 feet, which is another really big thing and idea about why we should wear masks. Pam, if you want to. Yeah, and then for like I said before, getting COVID-19 testing is happening everywhere. There's four different types of testing procedures. One is the swabs, which is more common. You you go out to a testing site and they insert a sterile swab into your nose and in circular motions for 15 to 20 seconds, and they collect the mucus and then they sent it out to the lab. There's another one with saliva, which tests for genetics by collecting the saliva in your mouth. There's antigen testing, which is not as accurate for those who are symptomatic, but it could still be done. It is more of a rapid way to get to see if you're positive or negative. And there's also a surgical antibody test, which is via the blood, but it only detects if you had COVID in the past and not currently. A really big important top thing is that tests are free and they are pretty quick. So you should really go get tested if you come into contact with anyone who has had COVID. And there we have a link to the Boulder County website, which describes near testing sites. That's just kind of what it looks like, and it outlines the testing sites around Boulder County. And it is a super easy way to navigate and to go get tested.
Okay, so here is a video that explains what to do when you test positive for COVID-19.
Pam, we don't have sound.
I didn't change anything, guys, so we'll just have to keep going. I don't know why the
It's okay.
audio.
I could explain like this. Like I said before, if you go to go get COVID testing, you should isolate. You should go home and isolate from everyone else in the household. Just because we don't want the COVID to spread, you should be kept in a room. If you're able to use your own bathroom. If not, you would have to disinfect the bathroom every time you use it, or disinfect anything, any utensils, anything you come in contact, just to avoid the spreading. And stay in quarantine from 12 to 14 days until those symptoms are over, and then contact your um, physician or your care provider for any other circumstances or if it worsens.
So as to getting the vaccine, currently right now, 94.6% of people in Colorado are fully vaccinated, and that they're less likely to be infected with COVID-19 than unvaccinated people. So right now, everyone over the age of 16 is eligible for the vaccine at no cost, and no form of identification is needed. The vaccine does contain a small inactive strand of the virus, so you can't get the virus from the shot they give you. The immune system recognizes that the virus given in the shot is antibodies and creates the immunity for you. If the body encounters the virus again, it remembers how to fight it and will then protect you. So, seeing these statistics as of April 25th, 2021, over 3 million over 3 million doses have been administered, and over 1 million people have been fully immunized.
Okay, so these are three types of vaccines that there is right now. One is Pfizer, which
is a type where it's like affects your messenger RNA, and that one you have to get 2 shots 20 days apart from them. We have Moderna, which as well is messenger RNA, and it's also 2 shots, but you have to keep those 28 days apart. And the last one is the Johnson and Johnson. It's only 1 shot. We used to have it paused, but now the FDA and the CDC has resumed the use of this vaccine. And if you have an allergic reaction to anaphylaxis, then please do not get it. Okay, and for getting the vaccine, before you get the vaccine, just find your nearest clinic and schedule and confirm your appointment. While you're getting your vaccine, please make sure you wear your mask at all times. Get written information describing the vaccine you received. Get a vaccine card. This is so important that you have to save this card. It is a critical record of your vaccine. And please do not laminate it. If you are going to laminate it, just take a copy of your vaccine card and laminate that one and just keep the original one without lamination. Try to keep it in like safe documents or something, because it can help a lot during the future and on getting other like boost vaccines or something. Also, well, during the while you're getting your vaccine, a lot of people just remain at the vaccine site for 15 minutes after, just to see if you have like any reaction from getting the shot. And after getting the shot, try to take a shower, stay hydrated, and relax for the rest of the day if possible. Vigorous exercises is allowed.
Come along, and yes, you have a successful resume, but what was your approach to this, and what to you were the odds of getting it there? So Ed and I have worked on this idea for years.
Sorry, just to interrupt. Will everyone try to mute their cameras? Or yeah, their yeah, just like Monza said, getting the vaccine, there's different types of those 3 vaccines, and getting the vaccine is our primarily concern right now as a community, which is why we decided to give you guys a tool for vaccine locations. Every vaccine location should be non-discriminatory, which it does not matter what your background is, what your ethnicity, what your race, your sexual orientation, and your immigration status does not matter at all. If any of these sites offer if any of these testing or there's vaccine locations ask for your social security number or any type of personal information, just leave it blank. And then also there's a hotline for a lot of community members to sign up in Spanish, which is the number right there. And then there's also a Boulder County Public Health Call Center, which is open within those hours. Another big important thing that our club did bring into this presentation is QR codes. And these are very helpful because you guys could just take your phone and open up your camera app and press on the camera app, and it will take a picture of this, and it will take you directly to those testing sites, to those vaccine locations, sorry. The square one is for Boulder County, and the circular QR code is for a link that takes you to a vaccine finder just using your zip code. These are recent testings or vaccine locations that we found that are coming up within in the next week or so. We have one in Broomfield, which is happening tomorrow, the Lafayette, which is on Sunday, and another one in Longmont happening on Thursday. So if you guys are able to visit these, you can sign up online, or you can use the QR codes that are available. Just like I said, you take out your phone and you scan it with your phone camera, and it will take you right to the link. But let me reiterate, all these vaccine sites, these vaccine locations shouldn't be asking for an ID, and they don't cost anything. This is a nice slide that kind of brings the idea of long-term effects of getting COVID and getting the vaccine. Getting COVID, as you could tell, their long-term symptoms are like fatigue, cough, joint pain, and there have been long-term complications like heart inflammation and hair goals, versus getting the vaccine, which are more short-term symptoms. I remember when I got my vaccine a few months ago, I was just really tired and wanted to sleep, and I just had some redness and swelling on my left-hand side of my arm, but there was nothing compared to getting COVID.
Okay, so this image just says when you should take prevention measures. And so on the first two houses, you can see that both homes are vaccinated. So that just means that the people in those homes are vaccinated. And so you don't need prevention measures for that. And then on the second two houses, you see one is vaccinated and one is not, but it's in yellow, which means that it's low risk. So there is no prevention measures needed. And then the third one is again green, and then one red and one yellow. And the red means high risk, so you should take prevention measures. And the last one, you can see that there's two houses that are at low risk. So the larger the gatherings get and the more people that are at low risks, you should take prevention measures. But small gatherings, you don't need to. Okay, now here is some vaccine myths that I've heard and that I've researched. So the first one is that even though the vaccines took only a year to develop, it is not new technology, and no shortcuts were made through the process of making these vaccines. The second one is that you'll become homosexual if you get the vaccine, and there's like no science that backs that up. The third one is that there's a chip or a tracking type of device in the vaccine to control people. And then the government wants to kill people with this virus and the vaccine. And the next one is the vaccine has abortion remains. The next one is the vaccine has a virus in it, or in other words, it like would give you COVID if you get the vaccine because it has the virus in it. And then next is people who don't get the flu shot don't need to get the COVID vaccine, which is untrue. You should get the COVID vaccine. And if you already have the vaccine, you don't need the vaccine anymore, which is not true because it does not protect you from getting COVID again. And then next is the vaccine's effectiveness can't be trusted because of how fast it was created. And again, it was only created fast because there were multiple people working on it, and it was not new technology. And then the next one is the vaccine changes your DNA, and the last one is getting the vaccine causes infertility in women.
Thank you, Lindsay. And we'll go ahead and introduce Lisbeth Mendoza, who is a cultural broker for the Equity Coordination of Boulder County Public Health and is also an MD and certified medical interpreter. And we are so grateful to have you here today, Lisbeth, and she will go in depth about COVID and some myths and why exactly these are not true, as well as answering any questions our public has.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here. Um, yes, I I have heard a lot of myths as well, and I just want to say that a lot of these myths they come from confusion or misunderstandings from original messages, and a lot of them. I mean, these are not truth. The reality is that these vaccines, the technology behind them, the mechanism of action has been studied for years, many, many, many years. And so it is backed up by science. And now the application, let's put it that way, the technology or the method of how they work is what is kind of innovative about these vaccines. And these vaccines are um, very very, very efficacious. The efficacy of them is so high, only compared to the efficacy of vaccines like polio and measles. And we know that these vaccines have been able to control diseases and eradicate diseases from the history of the human. So this means that these vaccines are comparable to that in their efficacy. They are safe, and let's put it that way, difference that we can tell with other vaccines, because they went through all the same stages of research that any other vaccine. The only difference is that they were approved for emergency use. That's the only thing that we can say different, and that's because of the situation, because of the pandemic that we're facing. The vaccines in the initial stages when they were developed, people said that they were taking too long to develop them and why they were taking too long. Now the people are saying why they took so short time to be developed. So I mean, the reality again is that they took so long because they had to go through all these phases of research, starting from research in cells, then research in animals, then research in a few thousands of people, then more thousands of people, until many thousands of people. They were also tested in different ethnias and different racial groups, different ages, and also in different parts of the world as well. So they have been, they have been used in or tested in people who represent the world. Hispanics, people of color, Asia, people from Asia, whites, every race was represented. So they are very safe. They have been tested, they have been proved, and finally they got the seal for them to be used in our country. And so far we have, as you have heard, Pfizer and Moderna as the first ones that were approved for emergency use. And then we have the Janssen or J&J vaccine. One of the things that I've heard a lot is this about the DNA and how, because they alter the DNA, that's what the myth is, then you may have some problem with, having babies, or it can change you, or it can control you, or make you sick, or something like that. And I think one of the reasons is that the word or the acronym DNA is very similar to RNA. And those are two different things, two different molecules. The RNA is never in the part of the cell where the DNA is. This RNA messenger that is inserted in the body through the vaccine never enters the area of the cell where the DNA lives. Therefore, there is no risk of altering your DNA or making changes that are going to make you infertile or change you in any way, make you sick. Also, again, this is just a little message. RNA messenger, if you listen into how we, we hear all the time, is an RNA messenger technology. It's just a message. It doesn't even contain a part of the virus. It's just a message on how to produce a little portion of a spike or one of those spikes in the crown of the coronavirus. If you think about it, is all that the vaccine does is send a message on how to produce a little area, a little portion of that spike in the crown, so that the body knows how it looks, how the coronavirus looks, at least one area of the coronavirus, how it looks, so that when it comes in contact with you, the body knows how to respond and neutralize it. Helps us create antibodies, like warriors, to fight the disease. So that's how they work, and they definitely cannot give you a disease because it does not contain, these vaccines do not contain the virus, not even inactivated, not even a portion of the virus, none of the virus is in there, different to other vaccines. Other things that I've heard is that if you get sick with COVID, then you shouldn't get this, and it's actually not true either. Um, you can get the vaccine, is safe for you even if you had COVID, and you should get it too because we don't know how much you became resistant or how much defense do you have against the virus after contracting the disease in itself. Another important thing was the side effects, that they can be horrible and you can't, I don't want to have it because then I won't be able to get up for I don't know how many days. That is not truth either. The side effects are effects that we expect to happen. They are normal. They are actually the indication of your body that the body is doing what it's supposed to be doing, that is building all these defense mechanism against the virus. And they are expected, they don't put in your life in risk at all. Yeah, maybe you may feel bad, but not everybody does feel bad. A lot of people go through it. My particular case, I went through it and I didn't really feel that bad. Yeah, a little bit of soreness of the arm and maybe a little bit of tiredness, maybe, but I didn't experience the headache that a lot of people mention, and I didn't experience the fever that a lot of people mention. My mother did, but it only lasted for a few hours and it went away. The same with my father, the same with all the people that I've known that have gone through the vaccine. Is everybody responds different. These effects are not going to put your life in risk, but contracting the disease may. So that's what you have to think about. Is put it in the balance as you guys presented it beautifully. You put it into balance, a couple of hours, a couple of days tops, because usually it's 24 hours, but a few hours of not feeling too good because of receiving the vaccine versus contracting the disease and what you can develop from that. And you have heard, horrible things on the news, and you don't know what you're gonna get with this virus. We don't know what we're gonna get. If we're gonna be asymptomatic, we're gonna have a mild disease, a severe disease, or a fatal disease. So that's what you have to put in your balance when you're calculating these things. There's definitely no chips or any technology of that sort in the vaccine at all. I think those are some of the most common myths that I've heard. And I hear that it's saying, is there a possibility of reinfection, and why we still need to take preventative methods? This is an excellent question. Excellent question. So as I was saying, when you receive the vaccine, you already have the instructions in your body. You already have the warriors in your body ready to attack the virus, right? So what this means is that the virus can come to you and can actually enter in your body, of course. But then if you have the vaccine, you attack the virus, neutralize it, and you can either don't get the disease at all or get a very mild disease. Don't develop a severe disease. The other thing that is different, and the vaccine will not prevent you from contracting the virus. Again, you may contract it, but you control it. But while you're contracting it, you can give it to somebody else. So we might as well, not be still, give away our masks. We still need to use our masks because of that. And the other reason is because there are certain sectors of the population that cannot receive the vaccine right now. For instance, children cannot receive the vaccine yet. They will at some point, but not yet. So we're protecting them by using our masks because we can still be vectors, as you presented it beautifully. We can still be vectors for the virus and bring it to the people who are not protected with the vaccine and then make them sick. So that's why we don't want to stop using our masks for these people to protect them. When we get vaccinated, we're protecting not only ourselves, but all the people around us and all of those who cannot get the vaccine, because there is people who cannot get the vaccine because they have allergic reactions. They have had in the past severe allergic reactions to components to the vaccines, so they can't receive the vaccine, unfortunately. So we are protecting them too. So we do it for ourselves, but also for the others and for our communities. There's a possibility of reinfection. There is a possibility of reinfection. There have been cases of reinfection. That's something that we're trying to understand about the virus, and the immunology about it is for how long are we fully resistant, and what happens in the reinfection, how the body reacts. Still, we're trying to understand that. So yes, we need to still use our preventative methods. No doubt in my mind. And now there's something else. It says, I know you covered this, but can you explain why RNA vaccine will not affect? Okay, yeah, it will not affect your future pregnancies, because the only thing that happens is that the RNA is a very small particle, goes inside of your body with the message to produce this protein, and the production of that protein occurs somewhere else in the cells that is not where the DNA lives. And as soon as the RNA enters in your body, it delivers the message and it disintegrates. It's a very labile molecule. It doesn't survive. So it just comes in, delivers a message, tells the cell, well, here are the instructions of how to produce this protein, go ahead, and then it destroys. It's destroyed. So there is no remnant, nothing left. It is impossible for it to go into the cells, and that's including the reproductive cells. So there is no reason for thinking that it will affect your future pregnancies or anything like that. It won't affect your, any of your reproductive cells or anything like that. I don't know if there is anything else that I can help you with. Okay, so for people who do not want to get the vaccine, I think taking the vaccine is a very personal decision, and it's a very powerful decision as well. So if you decide that you don't want to take it because of whatever your frame of reference is, there is nothing much I can tell you, but I wish that you could see the frame of reference that I'm trying to bring to you, which is the evidence that science brings to us and the history of humanity brings to us through the science. I hope that you could also see that this can really benefit us in many levels, not only for stop getting people from being sick and getting hospitalized, some of them die, and all these devastating consequences, but also the economical consequences and the fact that we can't get together with our people and all these horrible things that have been happening. We have a solution for it, and if you could only just for a little bit try to enter this perspective, hopefully you could join us. But if you decide that you have another perspective and that's more powerful than this, then I'll have to respect your decision. It's a personal decision.
Does anyone else have a question for our expert? Can you maybe talk about Boulder County itself and like maybe a little bit statistics or how you see Boulder County moving forward with vaccines and stuff?
Yes, so exactly. So we are very close to celebrate a goal of 70% of the population vaccinated, the goal population vaccinated, the people that we wanted to have vaccinated. So yeah, this is awesome. This is great. And now we're going to enter in a phase where we want to, get the other people that were not eligible before to really participate in this and join this percentage and help us all together build this huge percentage. We need to reach a high percentage to reach that, what you have heard about the herd community, the immunity in the community, so that we can really set like a wall, put a wall to the spread of the virus, which means stop the pandemic. So we really now want to get excited about that, and that we all jump into that percentage and we increase the numbers, and that, that we are at that point where we know we're so close to start going back to our regular activities, feeling safe, like being able to go to the restaurants or to the coffee places, or um, I don't know, gathering with friends, and thinking, oh, I want to go to the beach, and now I can do it. I can jump in the airplane and I can go and I can stay in a hotel and things like that. And definitely going back to school, feeling more safe, not being fearful that, oh, what if somebody gives it to me? Oh no. And gathering with some people that maybe we have differences in opinion, like what you were mentioning before, but we feel safe because we're protected, and still we can get together, see our our grandparents, or grandparents wanting to see their children. So that's what we're trying to do, to get to that, and we're doing really great. So it really is now something like what you guys are doing is amazing, because you have that power now of helping your peers say, hey, let's do this. I mean, it's going really well. Let's all join to this. You're doing an amazing job by all that you're preparing, and all your activity is going to benefit the community immensely. Immensely. So I really appreciate what you're doing, and it's beautiful. The work that you presented is really good research, very good, very impressive too. And so we're doing really well. Another thing that is important is that Boulder County is working really hard for equity, like really strongly in equity. And we are every single day finding ways to get the vaccine to those people who may not have access to it so easily, or who feel a little bit like distrust about going to the places where they give the vaccine, or who have a little bit of doubts or question because of all these myths and stuff, or because of the side effects, all these things. So we're trying every day, and we think that a lot of the populations like that are getting a good amount of vaccine, but we still need to do more. And that's another part where you guys can help us a lot, to let know anybody that you know from those populations, maybe, and we're talking populations like racial and ethnic minorities, or people from the LGBTQ community, people with disabilities, um, new Americans, which includes the immigrants with or without documentation. Um, and honest, I mean, openly talking about people without documentation, to please, they have all the right in the world to have the vaccine, like literally, like everybody in the world. And they can get the vaccine, no fear. Their information is not going to be shared with anybody at all. Any information that is collected is only for the purposes of understanding the vaccine distribution, and knowing where the vaccine went to, but we're not gonna share your information with immigration or anything like that. So, also let those people know. They can email me if they want to, or they can call the call center in Boulder County, which you gave. Perfect, they call them, they know that they will be calling to get them a spot in a clinic. So we're working very hard on this, on the inequities as well, to bring them to balance with the rest. So Boulder County is amazing what is happening here. And now I see you guys, and it's like, yes, it is amazing. There is more to come. This is great. What are some of the grassroots strategies that the county and state will use in coming months to reach to those who have not been reached out, portals and other current sign-up strategies? Okay, that's another very good question, Pamela. So we have been doing the community clinics, which are clinics that are very small and cozy, and that were exactly for the populations that I'm talking about, the priority populations that I mentioned. For instance, this happened in a school. So we're trying to replicate that more. So people, when they come to get vaccinated, it's nothing like what you have seen before. But you come in and people have music and people are, celebrating. It's a celebratory thing. They gay up at the clinic, which is a lot of fun. And you can just feel the vibe of, the Latin population and the LGBTQ population, the people with some issues, other issues. And it's just a fun thing to do. So we're trying to do that so people feel comfortable. And the important thing is that it's not us doing it, is the representatives of the population. So they are participating with us, every day, trying to make this happen. We're also doing, we did the mobile clinics, and we're hoping to be able to do more mobile clinics. We have what we call the equity clinics as well, that are a little bit bigger than these cozy small clinics that serve these populations. We have the clinic, the clinic for all that was happening on Thursdays, for all and everybody. Everybody is welcomed, no matter the race, no matter the ethnicity, no matter, everybody is welcome, and that was on Thursdays too. We are also changing the schedules, and the providers are reacting to this. So now some providers are opening their doors until like 7 p.m., which is amazing. Yes, weekends as well. And some of the clinics are walk-ins, like tomorrow, you can walk into a clinic if you want to. So there's a lot of new things happening, so that, people really make it, get it really easy to get a vaccine. And yeah, and I'm going to share about some of the vaccines some of the clinics that we're going to have very soon, which you already mentioned, the clinic that is going to use Pfizer in Broomfield, which means it's for people 16 and older. So that's tomorrow, and that's really cool. And you can get enrolled yourself. You can make an appointment by yourself using King Supers. So like if anybody in your family, is waiting for a vaccine, 16 and older, or your friends 16 and older, they can just go into King Supers. They are thinking of distributing 1,500 vaccines. So that's a lot of vaccine. So if you log into King Super's website to get in the COVID-19 vaccine, you can schedule, or you can help somebody schedule for that clinic. So that's something that is happening a lot. Denver has some clinics that are massive clinics that are open too, like, walk-ins. So there's a lot of initiatives in there. Tomorrow also, yes, tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow and the other Thursday, the Clinical Health Services is going to be offering vaccine until 7 p.m., from 2 p.m. till 7 p.m. This is going to be in Lafayette. And all you have to do is log into their website and get into their wait list, and they will call you ASAP, or you can call them. I can send you that information too. You can call them, and somebody in the phone will schedule you an appointment. That's super cool. So yes, there are many things happening and opportunities coming.
I really liked, I just want to add the comment that I really like that you guys are moving forward to opening up the clinics to be later in the day and as well as weekends, because I know a lot of people were very hesitant to get the vaccine just because they don't get out of work until like 5:30 or they work during the whole Monday through Friday. So I think it's awesome that you guys are moving forward to offering clinics later in the night as well as weekends. So thank you for that.
No, thank you, Claudia, and thank you for the patience too. It took a while to put it together, but this is how it is. It's been with COVID. It's like trying to put things, as the thing is moving, we're trying just to kind of like keep it together. Because also the virus changes, and you have heard that, right? The virus has changes. So, and here we go, trying to follow the steps and keep it in place. But oh yeah, Pam, perfect. So this is what you're putting in here, I think is the one for Lafayette, I think, right? For Clinica, right? Perfect. So that's the link so that you can get in there and you can register. And then of course you just pay, I saw your slide that has the one that is also going to be in Lafayette, but it's going to be on May 9th, and that's a Sunday. So that is awesome. And that's brought to you by Servicios de la Raza, SUMA, and the Latino Chamber. So that's really, really cool. I've heard of other clinics trying to get organized in Lafayette as well. So I think you're right, Claudia. I mean, a lot of, I'm sure you're right, actually. Not I think. I know for a fact that you're right. People that cannot leave work, or some people say, well, okay, I'll leave work, but then with the side effects, I might miss another day, and I can't afford to miss another day. Some employers go like, yeah, fine, you can take 2 days, but some employers were not like that. Now it's almost like there is a mandate about it, but but some people were like, no, I can't afford to do that. But now, if it's a weekend, it's like, oh, I'll take my vaccine, and maybe I'll feel bad, but I'm gonna be at home, no big deal. So yeah, this we hope that this helps.
Well, that's another thing that I feel we really need to be on top of. The way that employers aren't letting their employees take a day off if they have symptoms or not. Like you said, everybody's different and if people react differently to the vaccine as well as with COVID. Some people have mild symptoms, some people have really bad symptoms. And I feel like employers should really respect that and be able to, I don't know, come to an agreement with their employees about that.
Yes, and there's now the mechanisms are in place. Now there's there's a mandate about it, and I can send that document to you guys. But now is now they need to take a space for that. We can control all the employers, of course, but there's a support in there, the stimulus for letting people do their thing. And I am also glad to share with you, for instance, that I've been approached by employers that really are concerned about their employees, and they're trying to find an opportunity for get them vaccinated. And we have been working with them too, and that is nice to see. That there's not all the employers are not being flexible. On the opposite, some of them are advocating for their people, and that's what we need to do. But yeah, so yes, this is for the Lafayette Hub. That's correct. Yeah, so whoever if you can spread that information. The clinic tomorrow is for students. Well, it's for students and their families and their friends and their neighbors and anybody close to them. But I think it sounds like it's gonna be a nice one at the first bank. I think so. Yeah, so it's gonna be cool.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for joining us and being our expert in this presentation. Yes, Pam, our work didn't just include this PowerPoint presentation. It also included some of our flyers that some of our other members did work on. Oh, this is another resource before we go ahead with the flyers. This is another resource that we came together with. So recently, Boulder County released a toolkit that kind of explains COVID and explains all the information about the vaccines if you want to know more information about it. Like in the other links, we did create QR codes that you could just take a picture of them and it takes you right to the link. And this is an awesome website link that explains everything that you need to know, as well as the other resources that we have mentioned below. And this is the flyers that the other groups did come up with, which I think they're awesome. They all did a very, very good job on them. We will be providing copies of these as well as sharing them in our social medias just to encourage people to go get the vaccine.
I just want to mention real quick, yes, the influencers group, and you guys are influencers too, huh? And I was reading here, now that the summer is around, how can you help out? Yes, yes, I will be very glad to connect you with the volunteers coordinator of our county. And there is so much that you can do, so much. And even, being an influencer in social media. Social media is the main source of all these myths and conspiracy theories. And you know how social media works, right? You know how it is, the Fed gives you another Fed and another, it just keeps bringing the same information. And so if you are able to get in the social media, the positive and the truths, then that will grow, the Fed will be bigger and bigger and bigger. So that, oh my goodness, you guys are the magicians for that. You are the generation that is gonna help us with that a lot. But also, the volunteering, of course, so I can connect you, of course. I think you have been approached, right, by the influencers as well. But this is an important project that is a grassroots project that is happening. Actually, as we're speaking, there is the influencers meeting happening. So that's a thing that I can connect you with as well.
Yeah, we would really appreciate that. I'm sure some of the girls would really enjoy volunteering. I know some of us are bilingual, which would help out a lot. So
Very much, yes.
Sure, we would be interested in. So,
Absolutely.
do you want to summarize or end the presentation?
Yes. Let me go ahead and do that. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope that you were able to take in some new information. If not, obtain a reassurance that in fact, vaccination is backed by so much science. We were lucky enough to have our expert Lizbeth here today to join us. Well, thank you once again. And this actual event will be available to public if you decide to go back and look at it. Well, thank you again for joining us. You guys have a great rest of your evening.